One continues to cannibalize Tolkien's Second Age. New Line Cinema moves forward, honing their Hornburg tale for the animated feature, The War of the Rohirrim. And Deadline has some incredible news. Éowyn, the Lady of the Shield Arm, played by Miranda Otto, returns as the story's narrator. And legendary actor Brian Cox is now the voice of Helm Hammerhand. Rohirrim will debut in 2024. It's going to steal the sunlight from Amazon and send rings of power into the deep freeze of a long winter. I just cannot stop smiling. You know, when you have good news, you feel like a 5-year-old. You want to interrupt every single conversation just so you can share and get everything that's in your mind and off your chest. Hello, my friends. I hope all of you are having a magnificent day. Warner Brothers, New Line Cinema, and Sola Entertainment are moving forward full steam ahead with their anime, The War of the Rohirrim. They're rounding out their cast, and we already have a star-studded production team. Weta is on board, Philippa Boyens, Rich Taylor, Alan Lee, John Howe, Kenji Kamiyama, and now they've given us Miranda Otto, who played Éowyn, the niece of King Theoden, the Shield Maiden of Rohan, in Peter Jackson's famed Lord of the Rings trilogy. And to add the cherry on top, we get magnetic thespian Brian Cox. If you've never seen this actor, he is incredible. Watch him in one of his first features as the bad guy, the villain, and Rob Roy, or you can see him in HBO's Deadwood or Succession. Trust me, this man is amazing, and he loves the professor's mythology. And at one time, I want you to sample a taste of the resonance and richness of his voice. He read J.R.R. Tolkien's The Legends of Sigurd and Gudrun. Listen to it.
In Forge's fire of flaming wrath was heaviest hammer hewn and wielded. Thunder and lightning, Thor the mighty, flung among them, felled and sundered. In fear then fled they, foes immortal, from the walls beaten, watched unceasing, ringed earth around with roaring sea and mountains of ice. On the margin of the world.
Come on. What do you say about that? That is legacy, talent, and passion at its finest. Sola Entertainment also shared a new image from the anime, and we're going to get to that in a second. But before we do, if this is your first time here, I invite you, take a second, push the subscribe button down below, and join us as we hold the line for the Legendarium and honor the professor's masterwork of mythology in every way we can, while we have fun bringing Amazon down to its knees. The anime feature, directed by Kenji Kamiyama, is set 183 years before the events chronicled in the original trilogy of films. A sudden attack by Wolf, a clever and ruthless Dunlending lord seeking vengeance for the death of his father, forces Helm and his people to make a daring last stand in the ancient stronghold of the Hornburg, a mighty fortress that will later come to be known as Helm's Deep. Finding herself in an increasingly desperate situation, Hera, the daughter of Helm, must summon the will to lead the resistance against a deadly enemy intent on their total destruction. I loved everything I've read about War of the Rohirrim since they originally announced, except for this last line. It's the Mumulkai I'm trying to see when they told us that in a couple of months ago, and now this about Hera. We all know that the 9th king of Rohan, Helm Hammerhand, had 2 sons, Hama and Haleth, and 1 daughter who went unnamed, that they decided to name her Hera. And she's going to be the leader of a resistance faction, I guess, which is going to be fighting Wolf. Now, my speculation is that occurs after Hammerhand's death. And it irritates me a little. It just niggles at my gut. It's the same thing that I've told you since the very first George the Giant Slayer video, that the core mission that I have is to always bring you the unfiltered facts and then give you my interpretation of them and my opinion about them. That way you have both together and you can make your decision. I never wanted to take that shotgun approach and blast your brain with everything so you can walk away going, I think he kind of said this. So what's the difference between the production team behind War of the Rohirrim and Amazon's Rings of Power? In my opinion, Rohirrim is trying to do everything to respect the professor's mythology. They have to make some adaptations the same way Peter Jackson made to his Lord of the Rings trilogy. I didn't like a lot of those changes, but I understood them. Not that I accepted them, but the difference between them and Amazon is, like Jackson, Rohirrim is trying to distill and crystallize, so far that we've seen, the heart of Tolkien's Legendarium, the heart of the story and the characters. Amazon's Rings of Power is doing everything to debase the Legendarium, and they're doing it for profit and personal reasons of pride, so their studio can be moved up and they can be heralded as part of the elite Hollywood class. Then they can turn around as the middleman to the world and sell some cheap Chinese knockoffs with free shipping. That's what I think about them. Gaia Wise, A Walk in the Woods, will play Hammerhand's daughter Hera, and Luke Pasqualino from Snowpiercer will portray Wolf. Now, Gaia Wise is a chip off the old block. I've only seen her in a couple of things. She hasn't been in a lot, but she's Emma Thompson's daughter. I think she's going to do well in the role. Again, I'm trying to get a hold of the treatment and then eventually the script so I could tell you more about it. I'm doing my research. Will the production team of Rohirrim, Will Weta and Philippa Boyens, hold the line, honoring the professor's work, or will they fall in the same trap as Amazon? I don't think so, but we'll see. And I'll keep an eye out for it. Now, Pasqualino, I've only seen him in one thing. I didn't see Snowpiercer, but I saw him in the BBC's production of The Three Musketeers when he played D'Artagnan. He held his own. He was pretty good.
And that could have been your back. Now fight me or die on your knees.
And now, for the rest of the cast, I'm going to include them in the link for the article, which is in the description down below. There. That's the image from Sola Entertainment. That is Helm Hammerhand, how he was found after he died. I think we should take inspiration from that for all the battles ahead. Helm Hammerhand died the way he lived, fighting. He was unbent and unbroken. Because see, in this life, especially now in terms of pop culture as it pertains to Tolkien, you have some people create and some people corrupt. While Amazon is mocking Tolkien's Legendarium, you have New Line Cinema doing their best to respect the maestro's works, and they're honoring the fellowship. And we remember, as for the fight ahead, that we never bow down, we never bend the knee. Firmly defiant. Step up, stand tall, and get busy living your best life now. Always forward. So it's 2 days after my 18th birthday. I'm in my granddad's gray Crown Victoria. He always looked like a policeman pulling up to the driveway. He insisted on driving me to court. I was going to change my name, my last name, illegally from my dad, who had kidnapped me when I was 7, to my grandfather's. And on that 45-minute trip, I think he was more excited and nervous than I was. He was like, "Are you ready now? Because you're taking my last name. That means you're going to be like my son. But are you ready to carry that name for the rest of your life till the day you die?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I know you're ready, but are you sure? Because it's Papu's code, his honor, his rules. You have a responsibility." I said, "Yes." And in that 45-minute trip, I could swear that he was sweating, which he didn't, but I could feel it on him. It's like he was trying to make sure that he poured all his wisdom, all his knowledge, all his experience into me, as if turning 18, I would suddenly shut him out. I wouldn't listen anymore. And I told him, I said, "Do you think I'm not going to listen anymore? Take your advice? Be guided by your wisdom?" He's like, "No, but you're a man now. You're going to carve your own path. You're going to make your own choices. You're going to make your own mistakes. You're going to disagree with me more." And he goes, "I'm ready for that." He goes, "It's like bittersweet, but it's okay." I'm like, "But I'm going to listen." He goes, "As long as you have a good foundation, you'll be fine." And he goes, "Did I ever talk to you about," he was kind of smiling, but again, nervous, about the two different paths in life, armored and unarmored? I'm like, "No." He goes, "Good, here it is." So he says, "Some people get hurt. We all get hurt in life." But he goes, "Some get hurt all the time. And after they get hurt and hurt and hurt and hurt, they don't take a moment to step back and reflect and see, why do I keep repeating the same thing over and over? They kind of throw their hands in the air and go, I've had enough. And they put this invisible armor around them, like a wall of 10-foot thick brick and stone and metal and spikes, like a giant metal spiked porcupine of stone. And I go, do they feel safe? He goes, in a way. They don't feel anything. They don't smell anything. They don't taste anything. Here, they're half blind. They don't have real friendships. They don't really do well in life. They don't have real relationships or real loves because they don't let anyone in and they don't let anything out. He goes, I don't know why they choose that, because it's like being dead. And he goes, then there's Papu's way, unarmored. You take life on fearlessly. No armor, chest out, shoulders back, head high, and you go and grab it. You want to taste everything, explore everything, enjoy all the richness that there is in life, whether it's a bowl of pudding that reminds you of like the first time you tasted it as a kid, or a good movie, or a great dance with a woman, or a drink, or going on a trip, anything, reading a book. You experience it like your next breath is your last. You be fearless, not stupid. Okay, I understand that. He's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's how you do it. And I said, well, is there a danger to it? He goes, yeah, you can get hurt more because you're open. But that's the choice you accept. You know you're going to get hurt in life anyway. He goes, my job as your grandfather is, if I've made 999 mistakes, is that I hope and pray that what I teach you, you can make 3 to 5 less in your life. And then with your kids, you can hope to get them to make 3 to 5 less than you make. And it goes on and on. And eventually we get our kids to a point where they don't have to fall in every hole. They don't have to get burned with everything they touched. Like, I like that. So he says, you know how to tell, how to judge people by their actions, not their words, because words, he goes, once they're out of the mouth, they float on the wind and they're gone. But he goes, there are exceptions to every rule. If you ever hear, he goes, people who view always the world through a kind of like these dark glasses, like everybody is corrupt, everyone is a liar, everyone is bought out, everyone is sold. Walk. Don't run, man, don't run. You just walk away. Let the alarm bell go off in your head and go, they're not talking about the world. Because yeah, there are liars. There are people who use. There are people who betray. There are people who sell out. But not everybody at all times. No, that's just them. They're talking about themselves. Either they've already sold out or they know they will. That's somebody who goes, you grieve. They're going to have to learn a serious lesson. And they're going to learn it on their own. Don't let them drag you down. So he goes, which one do you want? I said, unarmored. And I still think about it today. That's how you take on the world. Unarmored, fearless, so you can experience it all and be yourself in every moment. So when you do end up falling in a trap of somebody else's design, or you fall in a hole, or you get burned, you always went into it with an open heart, an outstretched hand, and transparent thoughts, meaning you spoke your mind where your friends and enemies always knew where you stood. That's the path for me. Unarmed, straight, always forward. When we look at Amazon and the production team from the Rohirrim, what do you see? Amazon, they had a little 1-minute teaser which told us nothing. They have magazine article after article, trips, people talking about it, but they've actually shown us nothing. They're behind a wall of armor. Rohirrim, every little bit they have, they share. New image, here you go. New cast, here you go. Which one is hiding and which one is honoring Tolkien, and they're so confident, they're sharing it with you. That's for you to decide. But for me, the only path, unarmored, and take on life fearlessly.